We do have a little bit few warnings over here that the stream is dropping a little bit frame rate. I think the internet's been a little bit slow these few days. Um, who knows with what's happening right now. So guys, welcome back to Box Mining. Wow, what a good day to wake up to. So right now it's 9:30 here a.m. in Hong Kong. Been up a little bit, checking the markets, and I just thought, you know what, let's do a live stream to celebrate Bitcoin going above 10K. I mean, what a phenomenal event. Yesterday we're talking how the bears and the bulls are being pushed into this little corner right now. We're being squeezing closer and closer together, and now we suddenly have this major breakout, breaking past that 10K resistance that we saw. So yeah, really cool times. I mean, usually I look at Bitcoin prices on my little Raspberry Pi here, and finally seeing, 5 digits here, it's weird to me. It's like you browse down and I always glance down here to see what's happening. I'm just like, whoa, why is there an extra unit there? It feels so weird. And right now, just taking a look at the markets, we're pretty much green throughout. Bitcoin obviously plus 6% at $10,055. We got Ethereum. We're meeting that resistance as well. Ethereum, we've seen the $245 resistance, so it's like meeting that major target as well. Hopefully we'll see some breakout. What we're also going to talk about today as well is what's happening on the futures markets, because some intense things are happening a lot. Because on the futures markets, at least on Binance, people are stacking up those longs like majorly. There's a huge shift in that momentum, that trader mentality. One of the evidences for this, if you've been following this as well, is the funding rate. So this is just crazy. The funding rate right now is 0.1480. So usually the funding rate is like a tenth of that. And what funding rate means is that it's on the platform, on futures platforms, the longs will pay shorts. So literally right now, because there's so few shorts on Binance, because people are so bullish right now on Binance futures, there's a massive payment to anyone who's willing to short the market right now. I mean, that's insane, right? There's a massive reward to short, but no one's doing it. I mean, that's just building up. Like when I first woke up, that number was literally 0.1%, and now we're at 0.14%, meaning that investor momentum has greatly shifted. So right now we're looking at that price consolidation above it. In terms of looking at like how fast this went, man, you can't even see the. It's just one giant candle. So it just happened a few, roughly I would say 2-3 hours ago, just one giant candle up. And we'll just zoom closer. Let's take a look at 15 minutes on what really happened. If you just look at that's like, let's put it 5 minutes. It's just the 2 candles that sent us all the way flying up. So yet again, it's very typical crypto for these gigantic kind of shifts to happen. It's a very big indicator of kind of one large investor or one large group of investors all of a sudden just buying in on Bitcoin. Obviously the market's trying to react to that right now. It's like all the bears are trying to put in full force. We saw one comment here. Theo B says bull trap. I'm actually much more optimistic than that, actually, to be honest. Reason being is because we've actually broke past a few key points here. So yesterday, we were talking about how, if you zoom back a little bit yesterday, if you didn't see this data, you were kind of seeing that we were forced in this kind of wedge here formation. We saw for multiple times ever since the halving, we were trying to break past 10K. That was what we're struggling with, right? So if you just look at this from yesterday, we're struggling here. We're struggling to push past 10K. Struggle. We try to reach it again. We try to break 10K. Nope. The bear said no, reject. And over here as well, on May the 18th, tried yet again to break past this exact same point. Yet again, we got rejected. And then now, boom. So it was a sudden breakout, just all of a sudden. You know what? Bears said, we just gave up. Bears just like, no, not trying to defend here. Bulls have the momentum pushing over to that line. So exciting times for crypto for sure. And with this breakout, all the altcoins also followed as well. So I think this is also quite an exciting move here, because a lot of times when Bitcoin breaks out, what we do see is we see kind of, the altcoins being weak at that time. But Ethereum, you can see that carrot going strong. Ripple, USDT is actually falling in value, which is relatively surprising. But yeah, BCH, BSV, everything, BNB, they're all up. It's all a page of green. So very, very healthy growth for crypto, actually, ironically. And I would actually point out here, if you just look at the long term as well, if you actually zoom out to the 1 day point. So for a period of time, all right, so for a period of time, we're in this downward channel, and we're just breaking that downward channel right now, which is why I feel like a lot of people are very bullish, because if we do manage to break above this, that means we can kind of enter a new formation here. We can enter this new territory, re-explore 12K, 11K, 13K, 14K. You can hear my excitement in my voice, but we can re-explore that area again. So that's where kind of all the momentum can build up. And especially I think with timing as well right now, it's unfortunate. Obviously, I've been on Twitter, and I was talking yesterday how Twitter just makes you depressed right now. I mean, you just see so much madness on social media, so much distrust right now in the police force. And I think a lot of that bleeds over as well. You get the distrust in the banks, distrust in the institutions. And this is where Bitcoin comes in, because yesterday we we're talking about this as well. Bitcoin represents a trust in everyone, the people. It's decentralized. There's no point, the one point where someone can control all of that. So with the whole situation with global politics, it creates this long-term push towards Bitcoin. That's kind of what's happening across the world right now, not just in the US, right? So in the US, you see that loss of trust in the police force, loss of trust in the government. But and kind of in China, what's happening is that because there's tighter and tighter financial controls after the coronavirus, after kind of the government needs to really defend. In China, the government really needs to defend the renminbi. We've been talking that China is frantically trying to defend it because of this trade war, because of the after effects of it. They don't want the currency to devalue. So they're closing loopholes for people to transfer renminbi out of China. And because of that, Bitcoin and even USDT is becoming a very, very strong trend right now in China. So just like across the world, in USA, in China, and also we saw movements in India and around the world as well. So guys, this is a very pivotal time right now. I think it's that stress is building up towards understanding Bitcoin, because Bitcoin being decentralized, there's no bank of Bitcoin to call. Like, Trump can't say, yo, bank of Bitcoin, freeze these accounts, freeze these assets. I need some more power here. Nor can she do that either. She can't be like, yo, we need to just freeze that Bitcoin thing. We can't let Bitcoin go out of China. China tried to ban Bitcoin. Remember that. All the way in 2017, they tried to close exchanges. They tried to stop it from happening, but the ecosystem around Bitcoin just grew stronger, right? So when they tried to ban renminbi to Bitcoin, we saw exchanges go down. We saw OKX, we saw Huobi. They had to close the Chinese accounts. But what happened afterwards was an OTC market, right? The springing up of OTC, people doing and using other technologies to buy Bitcoin. And this is what makes Bitcoin powerful. A government ban means nothing in the face of Bitcoin. And if that's not power right there, yeah. So you can see that momentum building up right now. I'm just gonna refresh. And guys, if you guys are jumping on the stream, I know this is like kind of a last minute stream. It was not scheduled. Smash up those likes. I'm gonna keep this short though. I'm gonna keep this short to anyone watching this kind of after post stream. Guys, remember to smash up the likes. We got like 100 people here, so that's pretty amazing for something unscheduled. But whilst we're unscheduled, smash up those likes. We're gonna do more. I'm gonna talk about A little bit more. We got MTS saying, let's do this, guys. I need a mansion. Cool, but I think that what's more important is also you need to keep your wealth too. I mean, yeah, we all like mansions, but at the end of the day, we need to have a form of currency that's away from all this madness, away from this madness. All right, so looking forward as well, we have quite a few things. I saw this on Coin Telegraph. Bitcoin's price surges as Trump threatens a military crackdown. I think yes and no. I mean, it's so easy for media to try to tie events together. All right, so I mean, they even got this cool, this amazingly, shockingly good, beautiful caricature of Trump here. I found that kind of hilarious, but I think it's quite tempting for everyone to do this, like just say, oh look, it's threatening a military crackdown, etc., etc. But I feel like we have to give some credit to the Bitcoin market as well. There was a lot of tension being built up there. We saw that eventually there was going to be some breakout that is going to happen. So that's why right now it becomes a very, very big important point. Can the bulls defend? Can we rally after this, right? So right now after can't pronounce. Right now after the consolidation, so can we consolidate here and can we rally above this? Now, I think the major tell here is the funding rate, guys. I think that's what's really kind of making me bullish right now. It's because essentially Binance is paying so much money for people to take up short positions because people are unwilling to do so, right? So there's such a big stack of longs going on. Definitely have to be a little bit careful when stuff like this happens. There could be major spikes up or down. That's basically a big indicator because we see essentially, I mean, if you look at skew, right? So skew is another way to look at data and what's happening on the Bitcoin futures and options market. And the reason why we look at this is we kind of just want to have a gauge of what the traders are doing because they can have a great effect on what's going on. So if you just look at it, there is a stack today. So we see a lot more futures trade volume today, and we'll see that chart, that arrow just go straight up. All right. So I think this is what's happening. So in the past, right? So in the past kind of week or so, futures trade volume was pretty weak. Essentially traders got out and said, you know what, don't want to speculate here, but today, boom, because there's action, people really want to get in on it, and this is where kind of that momentum can greatly shift. And this is where I would say right now, once the short starts stacking, we will experience greater volatility up or down. So just be very, very careful and mindful of that, because obviously there is squeezes can happen, and there is a risk right now because there's so many people stacking longs right now. There is a risk of a squeeze the other way. So just be a little bit wary. I mean, I'm very positive for the long-term momentum. Okay, that's where my position is. I'm very excited to explore this area here. So let me just zoom out a little bit. So I'm excited to explore this area. This is where I think the adventure starts, and we're starting it early. Technically, usually we start exploring this area around, say, half a year after the halving, right? After halving, momentum gets a little bit lost, and then half a year later, people realize, oh crap, there's no new Bitcoin to buy. Right, that's what happened at the end of 2016 when that happened, where people started realizing, oh yeah, where's that Bitcoin? And in 2017, we start rallying up because the miners, they just don't have as much Bitcoin to sell anymore. I mean, we're already seeing news where Grayscale is buying 150% of all the Bitcoin being mined to this day. So you can see that the new supply, that's being eaten up. So then where next, right? You can only try to buy Bitcoin off hodlers, right? That's the only way you can get Bitcoin at that certain point. So yeah, I am long term good. Short term, just be very careful. All right, I'm preaching caution, but not financial advice. But just watch out for potential spikes either way. We went up with a giant spike. We had to zoom to the 5 minutes to see this giant green candle. 2 candles here. That's 10 minutes for this to happen. So it could be very, very volatile, especially with the stacking of stacking of longs right now, but the momentum is there. Very, very, very powerful. So, guys, I think that's kind of wraps up what I wanted to say. I think something that's quite interesting is a lot of my friends, they also they have quite a lot of liquidity, so they actually take advantage of funding rates, and we'll talk about that in the future as well. So what happens with funding rates is that the longs will pay shorts. So you're at a disadvantage if you're longing, and you're at an advantage if you're shorting. And the rate adds up as more people start longing, right? So they're just trying to encourage people, giving people interest to take up a short position. So what some people do is they actually buy the Bitcoin. So if they're just holding USDT, they're not doing anything with it, what they'll do is they'll split the money in half. So they'll say they have 100K. So they'll split 50K to buy Bitcoin and 50K to short Bitcoin on futures markets. So they'll actually earn interest on that 50K. So in an 8-hour period, you get 0.1%, which is ludicrous, right? I mean, in a day, you're literally gonna get what, 4.5%, because there's 24 hours per day, right? So you're gonna get 3 times the funding rate. I'm just 100% convinced that this funding rate will fall at this current point. It's way too high. You get 0.45% per day on your USDT. I mean, that's insane. But anyways, Ray Crypto says I'm selling and dumping on on these newbies. We got Nick here. Welcome back to the chat, Nick. He's like, until we hold 11K, we're bearish. Ooh. And Nick's been pretty good as well on our channel. So if you guys want to join the discussion as well after this live stream, I'm just gonna wrap this up very soon. We have the box mining Telegram chat. We have a lot of OGs in there. If you guys want to ask what's happening, what people are thinking, that's a great place to go. That Telegram group, we filtered out all the crazies, and we filtered out all the spam, and that group has been going really strong. So highly recommend you guys checking out that. Nick's a little bit bearish, so he's gonna balance my opinion here. He wants to see 11K, so we'll have to see what's happening there. But anyways, if you guys, if you guys are bearish, take advantage of that funding rate, because you can stack up. You can really stack up there. So anyways, guys, that's pretty much for today. Guys, smash up the likes. We got 28 likes here, guys. We have like 100 something people watching right now, so let's get more likes up right now. We got 182, so let's try to get to 50 likes. Actually, wait, we're at 46 likes, so that's pretty easy. So get that going. Also, guys, we have a live stream happening on Friday, just to do some housekeeping. So generally speaking, what happens is that we have the events set up on the Box Money webpage as well, on the events. And then if you guys want to schedule that as well, we have the stream I'm just gonna grab the screen for you on Friday. So usually what happens on the Box Money channel is that we have a stream on Monday and on Friday Hong Kong time. So that's generally the best time I think that's just the time. It just kind of turned out to be the time that the streams happen. So make sure you catch up, schedule, click that little button. I'm just trying to find it here. I couldn't find it. So anyways, let me just get shareable link. Let me just throw this up here. So we're watching Bitcoin fall. So right now we're watching we're watching that fight right now between the bears and the bulls. We're trying to see if we can defend 10K and 10K 100. So we're seeing if that's gonna happen. And then that's exciting time. So the Friday stream will be here. It's scheduled to be live in 3 days. The time will be accurate to you if you guys click the link here. So let me just throw that link over here. And I have to say also, like, I'm doing a few videos on other cryptocurrencies, exploring everything else, and it's going to be quite interesting because you're going to see all the outdated prices very soon. I've been spending a little bit longer on my videos, so you'll probably see like a price from last week going on live the next video, so that'll be interesting. Anyways, that's scheduled for that, guys. Click the likes if you can on this one too. Just set the reminder on. That will get you onto the live stream. Very likely we're going to do some impromptu live streams this week. So guys, stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed. And last thing for me to show here, we also have an announcement channel. This is not a discussion channel on Telegram, but it's just purely for announcements of new videos, etc., etc. But this is where you can get kind of the dish on the latest kind of news announcements too. So, take advantage of that well as you can. And if this video helped you, if this video helped you understand what the hell's going on with funding rates, etc., and what's happening with the futures market, we'll talk a little bit more about how futures affects the spot price as well. We'll do that in a future video, but definitely a lot of excitement there. So guys, make sure you stay tuned, make sure you subscribe, hit that like button if this video helped you, and I'll see you